And we're live, I think. Hello, all, and welcome. I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So, how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing all right. So, I can only hope and pray that this is working on YouTube. The past couple of shows I've made, for some reason, the stream wasn't working on YouTube. I use a restreaming service. So I don't know what the problem is. I reapplied and reinitiated my YouTube account with this service. So hopefully it's working now. If not, the show will just get uploaded half hour or so after it ends. So I apologize for that. Trying to fix the issue, but don't know what it is. Hopefully that solved it. So yeah, it's been a busy week for me as far as work, so that's why the shows have been starting late. I apologize for that. Supposed to start at 10, but I can't control reality like some people think they can. I can't morph it and shape it to the point where I'm always going to get off on time. My work's always going to be done no matter what I do. There's always something more that needs to be done, and some of it is time sensitive. So, yeah, I'm here as quickly as I possibly can be. So, that is that. All right, so a lot of stuff going on. Let's jump right into it. Captain Marvel. Oh, my God. I can't believe people are still talking about this crappy movie and this horrible character whose name was derived from the two names of some supposed Scree or Cree character that looks like a person. I thought the Kree were blue. Apparently, it's a multi-race empire with the blue people at the top. They're the actual Kree, and anybody else that doesn't look blue is one of the races they've conquered and integrated, who is now part of the Kree Empire. Yeah, Kree Empire. Wasn't that empire that was the adversary, the enemy of the Nova, which was the whole basis of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie? And they were very staunch enemies, yet I'm confused. So Thanos was able to defeat Nova and the Nova Corps, but the Kree couldn't. Meanwhile, Earth and its so-called greatest heroes were able to hold Thanos to a standoff, even defeat him. Okay, well, I guess you can chalk that up to them having the Infinity Stones. But anyway, Captain last name Bell, so she gave herself the name Marvel. God, how contrived, how pathetic, what a crappy name. Beats up that guy. So there's a deleted scene now. This is coming out on Blu-ray. It's so weird. When I was a kid, you had the VHS just coming out, and it would take like a year or two for shit to come out on VHS. It's so fun. Of course, this was in the days of video rentals. You go and rent a video, and the video would cost like $100. You didn't want to fuck it up. You wanted to make sure that your VHS didn't eat the fucking thing, because VHS tapes, players back then had a tendency to eat tapes. I remember one guy, a friend of mine, he rented Lethal Weapon or something, and it ate the tape, and he had to pay $100. This is when VHS tapes still cost a fucking fortune. And he had to pay it. Had to pay it to the video store guy. Seems like a good business. Buy a tape for $100, run it 1,000 times. Make 20, 30 times off what the tape cost. It's not a bad business. It used to take forever for this shit to come out. Now it's like, what? Came out in March, April, May, so June. May, June, it's coming out on Blu-ray. Of course, they didn't have Blu-ray when I was a kid. Now, when I was young, they did have a big, giant fucking disc. Discs would be like the humongous, and it fit inside a plastic container, and it was before its time, though. Picture was awesome, by the way, but nobody bought them. Kind of like Beta. Yeah, believe it or not, the first CD disc players, they were gigantic discs, but it was still kind of the same thing. It's just the video compression technology was crap, so the disc was like this humongous square, bigger than a vinyl record from the 60s. It's a great picture, by the way, but again, long before its time. VHS won out over that and Beta. Go figure. But anyway, so apparently there's a deleted scene from the movie that was included in the Blu-ray, where she's made it to Earth. She's wearing her fucking what looks like a diving suit. And the guy on the bike approaches her, but instead of just stealing his bike while he's inside someplace, they show a deleted scene where instead he comes up, pushes the map down, asks her if she needs a ride. Then he says, smile, come on, give me a smile. And then she, with her resting bitch face, her man hate, says, how about I give you a handshake? And you know what's going to happen, of course. And he's like, okay. And he shakes her hand, and she turns on the, that power within her that comes from one of the Infinity Stones, I guess, and squeezes. I guess when she does this, she has super strength, but when she doesn't, she's just a regular snowflake broad. They're all so strong and independent. Yeah, right. And starts to crush his hand, and looks like that she legitimately crushes his hand and breaks it. And then she says, how about you give me your bike and your jacket? He's like, okay, you're crushing my fucking hand. Here's my keys. And then she rides off with his fucking bike and jacket after she also stole some clothes from a mannequin from a shop nearby. It's okay. The prior scene, she just steals his bike. In this scene, she assaults him. Wow. And all the feminists are cheering. Wow, we love this fucking scene. You gotta love the double standards of these women. So, Captain Marvel beats up some innocent dude. And what did he do? He didn't do anything. He asked her to smile. Big fucking deal. How many people ask me to smile? I don't get upset. What the hell? Oh, no, thank you. I don't want to smile. I'm perfectly happy being miserable. Apparently so. She's a feminist. And breaks his fucking hand, and all the feminists are cheering. Yeah! Would they be cheering if it was reversed? Would they be cheering if it was reversed and some broad approached some dude on his bike and told him to smile, and he's like, how about I shake your hand, bitch? And breaks her fucking hand and then steals shit from her? Would people be cheering that? Nah, the women would be like, toxic masculinity, misogyny, patriarchy, crushing and oppressing the women again. It's all symbolic of what's happening in reality. Could just be a fucking movie. We got to turn it into a political message. So, yeah, they're all a bunch of hypocrites. They love double standards, right? They don't want to apply their own standards to themselves because then, in addition to having equality, they would also have to have responsibility for their own actions. They'd actually be considered to be people with agency. Can't have that. Can't have that. Then the pussy pass might not apply. So, yeah, everybody is all upset about this. I really don't get it. I find this stuff nonsensical. It's a movie. Fuck off. It's a bad movie, by the way. It's a real bad movie. I don't see the fascination. The feminists, though, any opportunity they can get to find themselves some heroin. That's apropos, by the way. Heroin. Yeah, it is like heroin, isn't it? These kind of characters, these kinds of narratives, these kinds of ideologies, they're kind of like a drug. They're addictive. And they feel so good when proactively applied in reality to force social change and social justice. I feel so good. I feel so righteous. I want to feel some more. Where else can I apply some social justice? Captain SJW to the rescue. Yeah, so she's a thief, and she assaults men, and she's cheered for it. So I hope this lets you people out there know that worship feministas and women and feminism in general, you pathetic beta male orbiter losers who think that women are so great, I'll put them on a pedestal so I can look up and maybe get to see under their dress and see some poon, because there's no way I'm going to see poon in any other way, shape, form, or... Nah, that's it. I got to look up under a dress and hope that putting on a pedestal gives me some access, because I'll never get access any other way, right? I hope you guys realize that you are pushing an evil man-hating ideology, and you think that's going to get you laid. No. It's going to get you contempt. It's going to get you scorn these same women who moan and groan about toxic masculinity. And even oppressive patriarchal males love the bad boy. They love the very guys who are the most patriarchal, okay? Okay? They've been brainwashed, but deep down in their loins, they get all moist over those guys, all right? That's why they love bringing in these Muslims. That's why they love bringing in all these real men who hate women and are patriarchal. Because deep down, that's what they want. So you could try to be a good boy all you want. You could try to be a nice guy. You could try to be a helpful guy. You could try to be a friend. You could orbit around her and fix her car and carry her fucking groceries and pick up the heavy shit she can't pick up. She'll never bang you. Not ever. Captain Marvel. Fuck off. All right, let's move on. All right. Well, we have more female empowerment here. Yeah. Body positivity. Yeah. Because women are lazy. See, they're lazy. They don't want to work. They don't like the effort required. There was a time it wasn't very hard to stay thin because, wasn't enough food. Kind of hard to get fat when there's nothing to eat. And sugar? Sugar was a rare thing, right? That was a novelty. Sugar. That was a luxury, okay, at one time. I mean, now it's available everywhere, and you can become a big fat pig rather easily and cheaply. So, yeah. But there was a time when women didn't really have to worry too much about getting fat. On the contrary, they had to worry about starving to death. Not anymore. Not anymore. So Lena Dunham, just saying that name makes me cringe. Just saying that name makes me cringe. Oh, she's the most disgusting woman. Have you seen this broad? And from what I understand, she actually at one time used to be attractive. Moderately so. I've seen some pictures where she was like 130 pounds or something. She's not bad. I mean, she's average, but kind of cute. Like 5. She lost a little weight, maybe a 6, but of course she can't lose weight because, that would be impressive to me and my happiness and well-being because, abnormally I get happy from eating lots of chocolate. Yeah, that's a real good way to live your life, honey. I don't find meaning in anything but food. I can't live without it. Well, that's true, you can't, but you can live without the massively excessive amounts that you're eating. And apparently Lena doesn't want to. So actress Lena, is it pronounced? I guess it's Lena. Lena Dunham posed nude. Oh, God. Excuse me. I had a legitimate vomiting moment there. Almost threw up. Just the thought of her posing nude makes me literally want to barf. On social media to encourage people to love themselves more. The latest in a bizarre series of missives about weight gain and body positivity. It wasn't too long ago that her long-term boyfriend dumped her. Yeah, she went super feminist. Chopped all the hair off, gained a lot of weight, went extra misandric, and he just said, fuck this, she's a nut job. I'm not happy anymore. I'm sure she was happy hating on men, but, at least in her own mind, right? Because I don't think this broad's ever really been happy, so she doesn't know what happiness is. Encourage people to love themselves more. What if you're the kind of person that you shouldn't love? This never ceases to amaze me. Okay, so, we love virtue, okay? And if something's good, we love it. And if it's bad, you probably shouldn't love it. So trying to artificially amp up the amount of love and affection you have for something that isn't deserving of that love and affection, it's probably not a good idea. Lack of self-love oftentimes exists, not always, but often, because you're not somebody who should be loved, and hence this is motivation to change, so you will love yourself. But Lena says, no! Don't change to be a better person and then more able to be loved. No. No! Change your perceptions and they'll change the reality. She's an idiot. Posing naked amid a sunny backdrop, the once upon a time in Hollywood actress pledged to donate to the women's organization Peggy Albrecht Friendly House, a charity that helps women suffering from alcoholism and drug abuse. Well, if you're an alcoholic and a druggie, you probably shouldn't love yourself very much. I don't love alcoholics and druggies. Do you? Well, she probably does, right? She's got that feel-good thing, right? I'm going to help losers who haven't hit rock bottom, and in turn enable them to continue to be losers. And, yeah. For every person who leaves a comment on her Instagram with a reason why they chose to love themselves. Oh, boy. Yeah. And this, in turn, encourages her to remain a big, fat, sloppy pig. Any negativity that comes your way is just an excuse to love yourself even more, says fatty Lena Dunham. An excuse. It's like a mind trick in her. I guess she's trying to teach people some kind of mind trick to skirt around, actually having, values and qualities that are deserving of love. Nah, just teach yourself this little mind trick, and then you can give yourself an excuse to love yourself. Why do I need an excuse? Why don't I just have good reasons? Good reasons, I'm a good person. I have all these wonderful qualities and virtues, and I love myself just naturally. I don't have to put any extra work in. Yeah, if you got to put all this work into justifying self-love, you probably got a lot of problems. And instead of solving those problems, which would be difficult, you're just trying to create all these Jedi mind tricks. These Jedi mind tricks to get away, to get around the hard work of actually being a virtuous person. Oh, instead, I'm going to create some little trick, some hack of the mind to get around having to have values and qualities that are deserving of love. How's that working out for you? How's that working out for you, Lena? I put on 800 pounds. How do you think? Not so good. Gotta love denial of reality. For every comment in the next week, I'll be donating $1. Wow, you're real generous. Isn't she a millionaire? How many comments could there be? 20, 30,000? I guess that's a fair amount, but when you're a millionaire, is that even 1% of what she makes? Regular conservatives donate more than that to charity. Who aren't millionaires? She a cheapskate. The Girl, is that a movie? Creator has a long history of celebrating her weight gain. She's made a career out of it. There's a lot of fat, ugly women out there, and she's courting their business. So yeah, of course she's celebrating it. I have to wonder, though, if she's really proud of being such a blob. I don't know. She's an actress. So last year, Dunham shared a before and after photo of herself demonstrating her substantial weight gain. Yeah, in one picture on the left, she was like 138 pounds, which was still too fat. But she had a decent-looking face, at least. The body was meh. I wouldn't have banged her. She needed to lose about 18, 20 pounds. But I can't do that. Not going to do that. Too much work. I'm just going to accept the inevitable. It's not inevitable. Of course, it's not inevitable. That fork that you keep carrying to your fucking mouth, that's not an inevitability. You can stop doing that. No. It feels too good to eat. Why don't you get a husband? Why don't you get a man? Why don't you get some kids? Why don't you get some meaning in your life and get something to replace that need that you have to fill that gaping chasm within you? Fill it with something of meaning instead of food, which gets digested and crapped out, and then you got to fill it again. No! Which she said had left her feeling happy, joyous, and free. Getting fat has left her happy, joyous, and free. Really? Try running. See how free you feel. Let's drop you in the middle of the African savannah or some shit. See how free you are from them fucking lions and hyenas who can run really fast. Because unlike you, they don't overeat. And they're not big fat blobs. I'd love to see that freedom. It lasts about 20 seconds. In February, the 33-year-old reiterated her claim that she was feeling happier at a heavy weight. Well, you got to tell yourself whatever it takes to make you feel better. Whatever you need to tell yourself to accept this altered reality, right? Declaring she was in a state of big, generous, jiggly happiness. Interesting adverbs and adjectives there. Jiggly happiness. I'm thinking of that Jigglypuff. At that one talk. What was it, with Milo or something? I don't remember who, but all the big fat jowls and the turkey waddle on the arms and neck was just jiggling. She didn't look very happy, though. I spent a lot of time in this life feeling like too much, she wrote. Feeling too much what? Just too much feelings in general? No self-control, no self-discipline, no command of self. Well, she's a blob. Okay. She wrote alongside a photo of herself in lingerie. Oh, God. Lingerie. Lord save us from that image. Too hungry? You're eating too much processed sugar, pig lady. Stop eating all the sugar. Eat more fruit, natural foods. Make sure there's no fructose in it. No, I like cake. Give me cake. You wouldn't be so hungry if you stopped eating all that fructose corn syrup, which turns off the part of your brain that tells you you're satiated. Too anxious. Too loud. Too needy. Oh, God. Too sick. Too dramatic. Too honest. Too sexy. Deluded. I was always sent the message in insidious ways that I took up too much room and demanded too much from life and sometimes gave too much to people who didn't want any at all. Trying to justify your existence, suffering from low self-esteem. So now you're overcompensating by telling yourself you're great, you're happy, you're wonderful, just as you are, which is the furthest thing from the truth. I see, fatty. A month later, she ended a 25-year relationship with her scale. and posted a video of herself throwing it in the trash. Oh, well, you go, girl. Oh, boy. Why? Why do you need to throw your scale away? I thought that you had made peace with being a big fat blob. You don't care about what you look like anymore. You don't care about how much you weigh. Well, why would you need to throw the scale out? Is it because you're hiding from reality? Is it because getting on that scale and seeing 325 flash is harmful to you? Because deep down somewhere you know that you are harming yourself and this is bad for you. So instead you want to deny reality. If you were perfectly fine with it, why would you need to throw the scale out? Why would you need to throw out the scale and not know your own weight? What's the problem? Why would knowing your own weight bother you unless you knew somewhere within yourself that this was not good for you? I can't square that. I can't square that with reality. You got me there, realist philosopher. You goddamn right, piggy. That poor fat kid from Lord of the Flies. By the way, I heard they were going to make a female version of that. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I hope they bend that because that's going to be a disaster. Oh, Lord have mercy. Who'd go to see that? Not me. Not me, man. Oh, God, 25-year relationship with a scale. Right, she's not old enough to have had an actual 25-year relationship with a person. All right, let's see this picture. Let's see this, oh, God, this picture of her posing nude. Yeah. Oh, my God, what the hell is that? Ooh, she's got all the tattoos. Oh. Jesus Christ, she's hideous. What the fuck? Oh, look at all those tattoos. Oh, my God. Does she have one down her butt crack? Could you imagine being the tattoo artist having to give her that? He'd have been holding back vomit. He's like, I got to charge her double. This is too much of a burden for me. I can't do it. She's got to pay me more. It's not enough money in the world, man. It's not enough money in the world. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Look at all that. What is that? Hideous, ugly, green. Looks like rotting food, tattoos all over her. Oh, my God. She's disgusting. You are disgusting. There's a reason you don't want to look at the scale. Because everything you're telling us about how you've accepted this and how it's all fine and you're happier than ever is bullshit. Denial! I'm calling denial on you, bitch! Yikes! Wow. So we know she's going to die alone with no kids. Grasping her favorite cat to her chest. And, you know, the rigor. The cat will get stuck and die with her. It'll start off eating her. Trying to eat the hands, you know, so I can get free. But the rigor's too good. And once the bones are left, it can't chaw through the bones of her hand. And by then, too late. I'm trying to get through. Let go of me, you old dead bitch. No, sorry. Your cat's teeth are not sharp enough, strong enough to eat through the bone of her hands. You're going to die in her grasp. Die in her old fat grasp. And eating the hands isn't going to be enough to keep you alive either. Not for long. You better hope they find that dead body. You poor, poor cat. All right, let's move on. Woo! Lena, you made me laugh, but at the same time, I almost vomited twice. So, yeah. Don't know if it's a good trade-off. Laughs for possible vomiting. Vomiting's uncomfortable. Boy, she must be used to vomiting. Can you imagine being that fat? I mean, you really, really, really must be on the verge of vomiting a lot. Yikes. What a crappy existence that must be. I mean, I've gotten fat, but not Lena Dunham fat. She outweighs me. Holy shit. All right. And I know it's not good for me. I'm trying to change my habits to lose weight. This broad, no, I not only accept it, I think it's wonderful. Yeah, okay, honey. Oh, my God. Let's move on, shall we? All right, so she's back. For those of you who know my content, I used to talk about a broad named Amy Horton. I made her very popular about 2 years ago when I started talking about her, and then a whole bunch of people kind of rode my coattails and also started discussing her because she's just the typical trope of the now aging generation, Generation X? I don't know. The ones that came directly after the baby boomers. Well, she's just the epitome of the feminist. She is the aging, narcissistic, bewildered broad doesn't understand why she's single, why she can't find a man. Meanwhile, she spent all her 20s and her entire 30s banging as many chads as she could possibly get her hands on. I didn't have a chance to get one of her photos. You can go check her out at Amy Horton 18. I guess that's the age she still wishes she was. Or maybe that's the dudes that she's able to get, 18-year-old guys looking for a cougar. Okay, guys, she's available. She has genital warts, but if you don't mind that, more power to you. Dive right in. Yeah, so Amy's back. I didn't think she was still writing. Her writing sucks, by the way. I can't imagine she gets paid for this crap. She writes for Bold, Bolde. You know, she's anything but bold, by the way. She's like this passive, backseat passenger in the story of her own life. Yeah, never takes the wheel, never takes responsibility. It's amazing how her life hasn't turned out the way she wants. She's some kind of cocktail waitress. She's like a waitress or something, and some kind of part-time actress. I can't remember the last time she had a role. I saw like one video, one snippet. She was in some show like 10 years ago, and that was it. Failed actress, cocktail waitress in California. So you know she's a lefty, feminist. And she's a loser. She's not a bad-looking broad, actually, but she dyes her hair ginger. And it's not real ginger. It's like that burgundy that Big Red has. So you know she's a feminist, and she cuts it pretty short. It's not uber long, not uber short. I mean, it's not uber short. It's like, but it's like ear, like chin short. That's a feminist. Okay, that's generally going to be a feminist, and because it's got this weird, non-human color, yeah, she's a feminist. And if you've heard her talk, yeah, you know she's a feminist. Well, you'll know she's one after listening to this. So she's panicking now. Really? She's like 45. I think 10 years ago would have been the time to panic, sweetheart. I'm panicking because I'm getting older and there's no one left to date. Yeah, imagine that. You limit your dating pool to 20% of the men, and now you hit 45 and you're still trying to date that same 20% of men, and guess what? They're not interested. Why are they not interested? Well, because these top 20% of dudes, they have their pick of the litter. Even at age 45, 50, 55, because they take good care of themselves and they have money, which is what women really want. So, if he's good looking, great. But if he's got money, I can look past some fat. Okay? Yeah, so she's panicking. There's no one left. All these guys in my age range that are in that narrow 20%, yeah, they're all dating broads that are 20 years older, or 20 years younger than me, excuse me. Well, yeah, imagine that. Guys with money or good looks or both, they're dating young broads, and she's not young anymore. She ain't been young for a long fucking time. She ain't been young since the A-Team was popular. I didn't worry too much about meeting the right guy immediately when I was younger. Yeah, none of these broads ever do. They always get complacent. They always take it for granted that they'll find the perfect man. They got plenty of time because, they're equal to a man. They've been taught that they're men with pussies. So, yeah, I'm just like a man. Except you're not. A man has a hell of a lot more time. He's fertile for a hell of a lot longer. Hell, I heard the other day about some 80-year-old dude that had a kid. That's not going to happen with a broad. So they have a hell of a long window, a hell of a lot of fertility. And what makes them attractive to a woman? It's not necessarily their looks. Old dudes can still get hot broads. All right? They can still get in a woman what they value. But you, as a woman, it's not equal. It's not the same. And this is the big lie that feminism has told women, that it is the same. You can be just like a man and be just as happy, but you can't. I thought it would happen in time, and I had plenty of it. No, you didn't. Now I'm in my 30s and single again. What is this? This must be old. Is this old? You're not in your 30s. She's lying about her age. What is this? Is this an old story? I didn't read this. It popped up and somebody had posted it, and I thought it was a new story. Maybe not. She lies about her age, I guess, when she writes. She doesn't tell the truth about herself. She's 45. I'm not as marketable as a 45-year-old. Yeah, I need to appeal to a younger audience, so I will lie and say I'm 30-something. Bullshit. We see the white roots, honey. So I'm single again, and I realized that I should have found a good guy then and snapped him up. This is why I'm freaking out. 1, my dating pool shrank before I even noticed. Did it really? Did you not notice? I don't buy that at all. I was in a serious relationship for a couple of years. And a couple of years. Yeah, all right. How serious did you take it? And then I was taking my time to recover from the breakup. Yeah, she's been through a lot of those, by the way. Ladies, you're not like men. We're resilient. We're like a fucking rock, and you're like old, rotting fruit, you see. So we're eternal. We are, in a sense, eternal in our resiliency. Well, not really. I mean, we die eventually. But throughout the eternality of our life, you could say, we're very resilient, okay? We bounce back. Fuck it, I don't care. We're not emotional beings like you, okay? We can embrace stoicism. It's part of our nature, all right? It just complements our nature. That stoic aspect of male behavior and male character. But you ladies, no. You're not stoic. The part of your brain that processes emotions is much bigger than ours, okay? You're equipped to be emotional beings. So you have all these breakups with men. Guess what happens? You become jaded and cynical and unable to bond emotionally with a man. So what happens? You get hurt more and more until you no longer have the ability to see virtue, to want virtue, because you can't want what you can't see. And then the possibility of a long-term, serious, meaningful relationship is gone completely. Do you like my deep, serious presenter voice? Okay, so anyway, she continues by saying, when I was finally ready to date again, I looked around and realized that I had a serious pressure. She was ready to date again. Yeah, you ladies are so strong and tough and resilient, just like a man. Everyone I met was either married, in a committed relationship, or someone I don't want to date. Yeah, because my standards are ridiculously high. Yikes. Number 2, all the good guys I know are taken now. Good guys. You ought to see the list of requirements she has for what's a good guy. I'm an old broad. I'm an old spinster hag. Jesus Christ, if she was around in like the 19th century, she'd be beyond a spinster. If you were like 30 years old, hell, if you were 25 and unmarried back then, you were a spinster. She's 45. Could you imagine this broad back in like 1850? She would be like the outcast of the community. No woman would want to have anything to do with her because her excessive age and spinsterhood, it'd be like she's toxic. She's a disease. Stay away from her. It's catching. 45-year-old spinster broad. All the good guys I know are taken now. Well, yeah. I used to know a lot of great dudes. Don't you mean you used a lot of great dudes for their cocks? Yeah. Somewhere along the way, they all got snapped up. Yeah. Huh? Imagine that. There's some conservative broads out there who don't embrace feminism religiously and zealously the way you do. Imagine that. They panicked, and they were in their 20s and early 30s, which you were not at the time of writing this because you haven't even been writing for Bold magazine since your 30s, honey. I did some research into you, so you're lying about your age. So she says, all these guys got snapped up, and the ones who aren't don't seem to be all that great. You know, the guys that didn't get snapped up. They don't make me flutter and feel butterflies in my stomach, so I won't even consider them, and I can't see real virtue, so I only see six-packs, and on him I see some love handles, so he is not a viable candidate. She's like an NPC robot. Feminist NPC robot. I know there have got to be awesome single guys out there. Yeah, there are, but you can't see them. They're invisible to you, dummy. But the number is definitely smaller than it was when I was younger. You mean in the 70s? When bell-bottoms were popular? Yeah. That's for certain. Number 3. It's not like before. Most people are caught up in serious relationships. You get a lot of excuses. Just like Lena Dunham. A lot of excuses. I need to lie to myself ever more effectively, so I got to come up with ever more clever excuses. Before, people broke up all the time. Nothing seemed all that permanent. The fuck's she talking about? Now, all around me, I see people who want to be shittled down already. I'm the opposite. I'm just now finding my individual. You're 45. She's like that Vivica A. Fox. I'm 54 and I'm finally ready to settle down. I can't have kids. I'm fat. But hey, you should want me anyway, even though fertility and a real positive body, one that's actually a good body, are the things that men value. But hey, I don't have any of those things, but you should still want me because, reasons. I'm just now finding my individuality and freedom and looking for another free spirit. Go figure. Just now finding you know why you're just finding your individuality now? Because you spent your whole life living as a robot, as a member of a Borg collective, with no ability to think logically, critically, reasonably. And I doubt very much you have any of those things now either. I've lived my whole life following a feminist ideology which pretty much not only precludes the necessity to think for myself, but it precludes the ability to think for myself. And now suddenly, some shit has started to break through the echo chamber bubble egg that I live in and infect me with some aspects of individuality. And I'm starting to maybe feel like I'm some kind of individual for the first time in my life because I've adopted a fucking conformist collectivist ideology which precludes individuality my whole life. But I'm finally feeling some individuality, and oh no! Now I want to find a man. Yeah, you're 45. You're 45. Oh, don't you think you waited a little too long to develop some individuality? By the way, I question that. I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical as to whether or not this broad is actually in any way, shape, or form an individual, okay? I still think she's just an NPC. Just a desperate NPC, okay? Everyone I know is getting married, she says. Granted, my friends back home have been married forever. Some of them are even divorced or remarried. It's not the same out here in the big city. Yeah. People take a little longer to make it official. Yeah. Have you seen the alimony laws in California? You're damn right they take a little longer. Now I'm at the age where even my friends here are getting married and having kids. Bitch, you a liar. Unless your friends are 10, 15 years younger than you, you're talking out your ass. I feel like the odd man out because I don't want a family. She lying to herself. Yeah. Or maybe feminism has infected her to such a point, and she's been so hollowed out and destroyed from within by all the cocks that she's taken and all the failed relationships that, yeah, maybe she don't want a family. How sad. Number 5. The only viable guys are younger or divorced. They don't want you anyway. Younger guys don't want you. Some old bimbo? I mean, you might be that, late night, booty call, older broad, cougar, but that's it. You're just a lay. You're just a convenient lay while they look for somebody better, okay? Trust me, no younger guy, no guy that's 30 wants a 45-year-old chick. Old hen, old gray hen. Yeah, nobody. That can't make eggs anymore. She probably postmenopausal. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not entirely true, but it's the majority. The younger dudes haven't committed to anyone yet. But I don't have a lot in common with most of them. Why don't you continue to narrow? Why don't you continue to narrow that window until there's nobody that could possibly date you? I'm going to narrow the window to the point where there's like 5 guys on the whole planet and then bitch and moan and complain and wonder why I'm single. I don't have an issue dating a divorced guy. Honey, at 45 years old, you should date anybody. You should date Wilbur, the rat catcher. You should date, Hans, the German immigrant who barely speaks English, and, his job is doing oil changes, okay? You should date any fucking buddy. The janitor down at the local elementary school who's going bald. And he's a little paunchy. I don't understand. These unrealistic expectations that don't jive with reality. I mean, you should be willing to date anybody. Anybody that will have you. Yes, I don't have an issue dating a divorced guy. At least I know he's able to commit. On the other hand, the older we all get, the more baggage we all have, bitch. You're like that ghost in the, the Christmas Carol? Dragging all them fucking chains and shit. What is that, the Ghost of Christmas Past or something? He's dragging a chain 28 miles long. Your fucking chain is longer than his and heavier too, bitch. You got a lot of baggage. No shit. Number 6, dating a guy who's divorced and or has kids is a whole different ballgame, right? Because, you've got my standards, right? And you're too hot to trot. You can't lower those standards. There are definitely different issues that the divorced guy brings to the plate. An ex-wife, for instance, right? See, these are all the concerns that men have about single mothers, but we're castigated and chastised for having these concerns. You horrible evil man, you! You're concerned about her ex and her kids and her cavernous pussy from having all those kids? Oh, you vain, vainglorious shallow man, you! Oh, you evil man! You're toxic! Toxic! But when a woman raises similar concerns, it's okay. It's normal, right? Yeah. So she goes on to say, for instance, and perhaps alimony and other legal issues. Yeah, alimony means less money for me, right? Yeah, of course she considers that. If he has kids, I hate to say it, but that's a deal breaker for me. I love it. She's a feminist too. And she embraces these double standards with no problem. If a guy said these same things, he would be called a misandrous, shallow scumbag, and she'd probably be the first to do so. But if she has these standards, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't want kids, and I don't particularly want to take care of someone else's. Why is it wrong when a man has these same views? Toxic femininity! Toxic femininity right here, which explains why she's 45 and has no man. This narrows my dating pool even further. You keep telling yourself that, honey. That's the big part of the problem. Of course, if you've ever heard her talk, she's got a bunch of videos on YouTube as well. I don't remember the name of her page, but I'm sure you could figure it out on your own with a little research. Yeah, she hasn't posted there in a long, long time because when I was the first one to start posting videos about this broad, and then a lot of other people picked up on it, and before you know it, she stopped posting because she didn't want to give what she called trolls, any more content, any more material to make fun of her via, Number 7, men my age or older are still single for a reason. Says the woman who's the same age and is single. How lacking in self-awareness can you be, bitch? Well, pot calling the candle black. Yes, I'm single too. I'm still single too, but that's also for a reason. Right, but they can't have a valid reason. They can't have an equally valid reason. You're single, but it's for a good reason. Them being single can't be for a good reason. Oh, I see. Everything with these feminists is double standards. I won't settle for just any guy. There you go. That's why you're single. Why you're single. Maybe these guys are picky too. Why are you picky? I don't get this. I don't understand this. You're like some homeless bum on the street, expecting somebody to give him a gourmet meal. Fuck off. If I'm some homeless bum that's wiping down windshields with the hope of getting $1, I'm not going to fucking complain when somebody gives me $1. I'm not going to be picky. You want to give me a ham sandwich? I'll take it. You want to give me a fucking $1? I'll take it. You want to give me a fucking cup of coffee? I'll take it. Anything you want to give me, I'll take. I'm not picky. I can't afford to be picky. I'm a homeless bum. You're a homeless bum, sweetheart, and you're picky. Are you out of your fucking mind? She goes on to say, but unfortunately, all too often, there are different reasons for their perpetual bachelorhood. Yeah. They're totally different than yours. Your reasons for being single are valid and reasonable and okay and don't point to issues with you as a person. But if they're single and men, they've got issues, but I have no issues. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they don't really want a committed relationship, but they aren't emotionally available. What does that mean? I've heard this before. Never about me. But I've heard this from broads, because I don't pick nutty, crazy broads to date. Okay? I don't date broads anymore anyway. I'm too old. I don't give a fuck. Too busy. Got better things to do with my time. But emotionally available, don't you know well, she doesn't know anything about men. Hey, sweetheart, we're not emotional, period. Okay? Yeah, you got all these soy boys running around crying. You got Game of Thrones, Jon Snow, supposed to be an alpha male. He's crying like a little bitch. Give me a break. What a bunch of bullshit. That's not emblematic of reality. Did you think John Wayne cried? Did you ever see John Wayne crying? John Wayne didn't cry. Ay, ay, ay. Real men don't cry like that, okay? I mean, you stub your toe, you get your toe lopped off, maybe you might cry, okay? But generally, you don't cry. Men don't cry too much. We're not that emotional. We're naturally that way. That's why we're killing ourselves so much these days. We're encouraged to be more emotional. We're not designed to handle that level of emotionality that you ladies are trying to inflict on us by socially deconstructing and reconstructing society and trying to inflict all these new norms on us. We're not equipped for it. So yeah, we're blowing our fucking heads off at record rates. Oh, but they need to be emotionally available. Why don't you go fuck yourself, huh? Or maybe they're married to their jobs. Or maybe they just don't like you because you've got issues that you don't want to face. Yeah, emotionally available. Get the fuck out of here. You know anything about men? We are not. What was that one movie? The Death Wish movies? What's that guy's? Charles Bronson? When was he crying? That's a real man, bitch. He was doing one fucking handed push-ups at 85, bitch. That's a man. Cry. Why the fuck would I cry? I'm a man. Oh no, you gotta cry and be emotional these days. Yeah, you gotta be a soy boy. You gotta introduce all these outside artificial factors. Let's feed them soy. Let's feed them bisphenol A. Let's knock down their ability to make testosterone and think logically, critically, reasonably, while at the same time encourage them to be ever more emotional beings. Yeah! And if we do that, we can get rid of even more of them so we have less guards at the gates so the barbarians can come storming in. Oh yeah, less men to protect. And even if the men don't kill themselves, they're so feminized, they're not effective defenders, which has ended up being the case. Hello, soy boy. Hello. I'm emotionally available. Yeah. Fucking neckbeard loser. Get the fuck out of here and take your soy milk with you. Number 8. Also, most men my age or older wanted to start a family yesterday. Yeah, your cooch is dried up, honey. Let's take a look inside your cooch. We'll see we'll see tumbleweeds. We go put our ear to your poo and we'll hear the ocean. We take a look inside, it's all dried out, tumbleweeds blowing by, dust, and oh boy. Yeah, there's nothing happening in there, okay? No more eggs coming out of there. I had my last period 2 years ago. Yeah. Menopause for you, sweetheart. No more kids for you. Ay. I initially thought that I should date older men because if they've reached a certain age and don't have families yet, maybe they're like me. Yeah, because men and women are all equal, right? And men have the exact same reasons for being childless when they're older as I do. No, not necessarily. It's possible, but again, you're making these wild conflations that feminism has taught you to make. Just make these sweeping assumptions that usually are false and almost always have something to do with equality. Yeah, maybe they want freedom instead of kids. What I found more often is she thinks too much. This broad thinks too much about shit. She overthinks everything. No wonder you're still single. What I found more often is that they were so invested in their careers that they didn't notice how the years slipped by. Now they're looking to start a family immediately. And not with you, because you can't have kids. You're 45. Could you imagine the kid that this broad would have? It would be like Forrest Gump IQ level. No, Jimmy! The square doesn't go in the circle. Big walrus bump on the front of the head. Yeah, Down syndrome, baby. Yeah, I don't recommend you have kids, sweetheart. The quality of your eggs are not so good. And I doubt that she had the forethought to freeze any eggs. I don't think she could afford it either. She is like a fucking cocktail waitress in reality. I love, if you watch any of her videos, she's so morally righteous, so self-righteous, and she's a cocktail waitress. You're a cocktail waitress. Who are you to talk down to me, honey? I'm more successful than you. Get the fuck out of here. Number 9. It's so tough to find an available man who shares my interests. What are your interests? Do you have any interests? I think she hikes. She got a lot of pictures on her fucking Twitter of her hiking. That's it. She likes to hike a lot. Yeah, because you got a lot of free time to burn, don't you, honey? In between waiting tables and waiting for the next call from your ineffective agent. Who'll tell you that he has an acting job for you, your old, over-the-hill ass that nobody wants to see. Yeah, I bet. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm looking for something very specific, and I know it won't be easy to find a man who fits the bill. Got all this specificity. Specificity, narrow window. What? You're 45. I don't even know where to meet them, to be honest. Yeah, because there's a specific place. You just don't walk out your fucking front door and look around. I used to meet broads everywhere when I was actively looking, man. I mean, I would train, fucking a grocery store, just walking down the street. You can say hello, can't you? Hello, how you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, start a conversation. It's not that difficult. Well, apparently it's difficult for her. I have no confidence. I'm going to dye my hair burgundy, and hopefully a man will approach me. That's like bug repellent for men, honey. Okay, we're not stupid. We see that burgundy purple, short fucking hair. Feminist, not talking to her. Now, of course, you don't do anything to attract men. Feminists, of course, don't. They do everything they can to repel men, and then bitch and moan and complain and wonder why they're single. Yeah. Dummy. Talk about lacking in self-awareness. So, yeah, she goes on to say, I guess I should just go sit out in the woods until I find my mountain man. The mountain man is able to spot a feminist cunt, too, okay? Some dude is living out in the middle of the woods and living off the fucking land. He sees you. He's like, burgundy hair? Fuck that. Short, chopped off fucking hair, burgundy colored hair. I don't like feminists at all. I like me a good traditional conservative woman. And you're screaming to the world you're anything but with your burgundy hair. But usually when I do meet guys who pique my interest, they're with their significant others. Imagine that. Guys you're attracted to have women already. It's like she's making minimum wage, but she wants to be able to afford Dom Perignon. You are bottom basement. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You have very little value to offer. You have very little value to fucking offer, okay? You're barrel scrapings, all right? But you think you're Dom Perignon. You think you are the finest fucking champagne in the world. But you're just that goop they scrape off the bottom of the fucking barrel before they refill it with the good stuff, okay? Nobody wants that. Number 10. I meet so few potential options that I'm starting to genuinely worry. Just now? You're starting to genuinely worry just now. Like now. Now. At 45. I mean, I guess that's not as bad as fucking Vivica Fox at 54, who's now genuinely starting to worry. She's a big fat pig. No kids, no ability to have kids. Then she's got this problem too, but she's not as big and fat. But my God, the time to genuinely start worrying and panicking would have been 15 years ago, okay? Actually, 15, 18 years ago in your late 20s. But no, you were having too much fun. You were having too much fun sleeping with as many men as possible and thinking that was the highlight of your life and happiness. It wasn't. You have nothing to compare it to. She probably had parents that didn't get along, or they probably weren't even married. She probably had a single mother raising her, no father around, broken home. So she didn't have anything to contrast her life with. She didn't see these two people happily married, getting along, having a great life, and I want that too. She didn't have that. So she has no frame of reference, and so she's never been happy. She's never seen that kind of relationship close up. She doesn't know what it entails and what it might bring her. So, she incorrectly conflates the relationships that she's had with happiness. Why is she wanting to get married now? Why is she wanting to have she's not even talking about getting married, by the way. She's talking about finding a man for a long-term committed relationship. Hello? You already said you already had those and you dumped them all. Why would now be any different? Well, because now I'm genuinely worried. Right, she's getting tired of working as a cocktail waitress. Her feet are getting sore. I need somebody to take care of me now. Well, bitch, you should have cashed in your chips when you still had some chips to cash in. Because the things that men value, you don't have anymore. Eggs? No. Good body? No. She's gotten chubby now. Genital warts? You got those, but nobody wants those. What do you have to offer? Oh, my God. It could be a problem perpetuated by the area I live in. Oh, now it's geographical, right? Notice how all these problems have nothing to do with her. But what if it's not? I worry that I'll move somewhere new only to encounter the same issues, because you will. This is more the magic dirt theory of the left, that any problems in people's lives is somehow geographical. And somehow geographic, and it has nothing to do with you personally. Let me tell you something, Amy Horton. Wherever you go, there you are. It doesn't matter where you move, doesn't matter where you go. Guess what remains the same? You remain the same, Amy. You take your problems with you because you are the source of your woes in life. You can go anywhere you want, but the environment isn't the problem. It's you, Amy. You. So, yeah, go ahead, move. Move to Timbuktu. Move wherever you want. Go to a real patriarchy where the real men are. It's the same thing. You're going to get the same problems. They don't want you either. You're too old, you can't have kids, and you're too fucking bossy. Oh, boy. I simply don't click with a lot of guys. Imagine that. Rabid feminist. Rabid leftist feminist. She loved Obama, by the way. She thought Obama was the second coming. Rabid, regressive, leftist feminist. Don't click with a lot of guys who are becoming ever more conservative because they're seeing how nutty you feminists are and the left in general are. I never have, which is why I get overly excited when I meet someone I like. Number 11, sometimes I'm tempted to just give up and settle. Well, clearly your temptations haven't played out in reality to an actual outcome of you settling. I've never been... by the way, how the fuck can you be 45 and think that you don't have to settle? You are not going to find anyone. That's it. It's over. The game is over! I've never been one to give up on my standards. Time to give up. It's time to give up, honey. If you're playing the same game for 20, 25 years, and you've lost every game, it's about time to think about changing your game. Thinking about how you changed the game, how you played the game, or just stop playing. Because you suck at it. But I'll admit the thought crosses my mind. I've definitely settled in the past, and it was terrible. But I feel like now all my viable options have passed me by. Yeah. While I wasn't paying attention, I'm afraid that the longer I hold out, the more I'll have to settle later on. You know what you could do? Instead of, overanalyzing all the extraneous factors, maybe you could try looking within. No! No! It's not me! It's you! And I really mean that! It's you. The problem is you. You're not a good person. You don't have any qualities that anybody wants. You have no good values. You have no virtues. You don't bring anything to the table that a man would want. You don't even have your looks anymore. You've made it this far on your looks. She was a good-looking broad at one time. But you're 45 now, honey, and that precludes a lot of the things that men find attractive, like the ability to have kids. Why would a man your age want you? You can't give him kids. If you do, again, walrus head, doesn't know the difference between a square and a circle, Down syndrome baby. Yeah, I don't want that. It's you. You're the problem. This is the problem with most modern day women. They do not have any self-awareness, any ability to look within and know themselves very well. They don't seem to realize that if problems are continuing to manifest in your life, similar, same problems again and again and again, it's you. It's not the environment. It's you. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. All right. And finally, number 12. I might have to accept my fate and die alone. Yep. I definitely want to find an amazing partner. Too late! Amazing! At 45. Honey, you will be lucky to get a neckbeard soy boy partner. One of these ally, male, feminist, white knight pussy boys who spends his whole day at age 40 playing video games. And he's never gotten laid. That's your future. That's the only thing you can hope for. Okay, amazing partner. I mean, no, honey, no amazing partners for you, okay? We know what you find amazing. You're a reasonably good-looking broad. When you were younger, you were much better looking. You've ridden the cock carousel. You've gotten by solely on your looks until now, so you haven't had to develop any real virtues, develop any qualities that you could offer a man besides your looks. So you basically skirted by on your looks. And now that you don't have those looks anymore, this is something else amazing to me. Don't women realize that when they get older, they lose their looks? And that's exactly one of the main things men look for, okay? All right? Key indicator of your fertility. No. You could have gotten by on that and found yourself a nice sugar daddy, your husband, who would then be paying you alimony forever. But you eschewed that for meh cocks. Lots of meh cocks. Yeah, well, you and your genital warts can die alone now. But I know not everybody gets that in life. A lot of people do. Rabid feminists don't, of course, because they hate men like you. I'd rather be on my own than with someone I don't love deeply. Yeah, you're just telling yourself that to make yourself feel better. The truth of the matter is you would not rather be alone, because if that was the case, you wouldn't be writing these voluminous fucking posts as a form of fucking therapy and forcing us to read them and brainwashing young women to think it's not their fault. It's not you. It's the world. Just move. Yeah. Because wherever you go, no. There you are not. No, wherever you go, there you are. She goes on to say, I'd rather be on my own than with someone I don't love deeply, despite the scared little voice in my brain that tells me to settle sometimes. The older I get, the less certain I feel that I'll meet my true love. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. All right, so Amy Horton has been misleading women for a long fucking time. She is a gigantic social justice warrior, virtue signaling feminist. One of the few that was actually good looking. She's not a bad looking broad. I haven't seen a picture though in a while, so she's probably gotten fat now, which is why she's writing this garbage. That's another thing, Amy. Yeah. I tell you, that took up a lot of time. Jesus. There's always a lot to comment on with this Amy Horton because she just spreads so much disinformation. A lot of disinformation. Amy, 45 years old, single, perpetually so, befuddled as to why, when the answer's staring her right in the face, in her very own words, and she don't see it. I'm looking in a mirror. The problems are there, but I don't see them. Right, of course you don't, Amy. Well, I think that's probably going to be about it. Yeah, I have other stories I wanted to discuss, but I will save those for tomorrow. So let me know what you think in the comments of Amy Horton. Amy Horton. Let me know what you think of deluded Amy Horton. Is she this great, wonderful creature, and men are just horrible, evil, shallow scumbags who don't see the wonderful qualities she has to offer? Or is the reverse true? She's a horrible, evil scumbag of a woman who has no real virtues, no good qualities at all, and that's why she's still single. Is it just magic dirt? Is it just a magic geography? Is it just where she's living? Oh, there's just not a lot of men where I live. Yeah, they're 50% of the population. Well, 47 or so, because we kill ourselves more, die more at work, die sooner, because so many more healthcare dollars go to women than men. So they're not 50% of the population, but they're close, 47 or something like that. So, yeah. What do you mean there's no men? No men that are making the kind of money I want, and I still have the standards of a hot 25-year-old with a tight ass and no genital warts. And no genital warts. And I think that I have that same amount of chips to bring to the table that I did then, and you don't. This is the problem with women these days. Western women especially. You're too old. You don't have what we as men value. And the big mistake you make is conflating yourselves with us and thinking men and women are equal in terms of what we value from the opposite sex. And it's just not true. So feminism destroys another life. Poor Amy, who has followed this Borg collectivist ideology that is feminism, this death cult of feminism that kills so many men and just lays waste to so many potentially good women and leaves them barren. It has another victim. It's claimed another victim. Amy Horton, age 45, maybe 46 by now even. Childless, manless, will die with her cats. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content, which hopefully you do. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm August Reason on Facebook, Twitter. I'm The Realist 1967. I'm also on Instagram. And if you would like to donate to my channel, I get no monetization from YouTube. I signed up for a Subscribestar account. So if you hate Patreon because they censor people who they disagree with politically, now you can contribute on Subscribestar if you like. You'll find that link at therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That is therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's also my website, therealistphilosopher.com. You'll find all the links to all my content, both old and new, there. Also, if you'd like to be on the show or you have a subject you would like me to discuss, please feel free to email me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's ADMIN at therealistphilosopher.com. That's right, I have my own private email keyed to my website. And that's it. I'm the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.